Hey guys, it's Josie. This is our third vlog, and we have some questions here. First one is, have you had an embarrassing moment yet, or even witnessed one? Anything embarrassing? I mean, I don't know, I feel kind of like I'm always embarrassed just because I'm the new person. Have I seen something embarrassing? No, I haven't seen anyone do anything embarrassing. I mean, being the new person and not knowing anything and kind of feel like everything you do is wrong, and then you're just embarrassed to do anything because you probably know it's going to be wrong anyways. But nothing like in particular that was extremely embarrassing. Any mistakes that I've made? Like little mistakes? Yeah, like I've given the wrong instrument a couple times. I think like anything big, like a huge mistake that was like, I don't know, like no, I haven't really made a big mistake. I just think, well, I mean, passing the wrong instrument, I feel like is a kind of a big mistake, but there's so many instruments that I'm learning new, and I've only worked with them one time, and so I don't really remember the name sometimes, and there's been a couple of times where they've asked for the instrument and I gave them the wrong one, and then they ask for it again and I give them the wrong one again, and I mean, and so that's kind of difficult because I have been in like I was in neuro, I was in ortho, and I was in plastics the last couple weeks, and there's just a lot of instruments that I'm very unfamiliar with, and I have definitely struggled with knowing the names, and so there's been lots of times where I have to tell the surgeon, I'm sorry, but I don't know what instrument you're asking for, or like, what does it look like, or can you see it, like, is it this one, and I'm pointing to instruments. So, I mean, I guess those are mistakes, but I guess not really, because I haven't really learned it yet to make that mistake. But I don't know, I'll have to think about some more mistakes that I've made. I don't know. If you've made mistakes, how do you fix them? How do you handle them? Did you pick yourself up or worry about it all day? I mean, with not knowing instruments, I try hard to write them down or to learn them as best I can. A lot of times I don't, if something happened where I'm like yelled at or like told I did something wrong by the surgeon, I'm normally like, okay, I'll take the constructive criticism and I'll learn from it, and then once it's gone and that conversation's over with, I normally don't worry about it anymore. Like, I mean, I guess you call this a mistake. I was passing a Kerrison Ranger, and those have the little, I guess like the little piece for it to fit into the web of your thumb, and I went to pass it to him and I hit him in the web with it, and he like kind of slapped his hand down, and he's like okay, we need to get you to figure out how to pass this, because it needs to be passed to my hand where I don't have to correct it and then use it, which is totally understandable. I mean, I don't think I had never passed that before. And so he's like, you need to pass it so it fits perfectly in my hand. That way my fingers just go right through the loops and I can use it. And I wasn't really, like, upset. Like, I mean, I was kind of like, oh shoot, like, I just made him kind of angry. And so that was an instrument that he was going to use very, repetitively in the, case. So I got a lot of practice with passing that. But I had to use that in a case after that upstairs with a different surgeon, and so when I passed that, I knew exactly how to pass it, and with the rongeurs, because you know, you have to pass it to them the way they're going to use it. And so that was really nice to, you know, learn from that mistake and have, it was kind of nice that it was kind of in a pressure situation, because I learn really well in situations where I have to pick it up very fast. And so that was nice, because I was able to take that and go upstairs to the next case and knew how to pass it. And even the surgeon that it was with upstairs told me I did a really nice job of passing him instruments correctly. And there were sometimes we were passing, you know, instruments every 10 seconds, maybe not even that. And I mean, it was pretty quick, and he said I did a really good job with my first time and doing a big neuro case, that I did a very good job, which was nice to hear, because I absolutely knew nothing, and I thought, you know what, this is not going to be the best case, but we'll just live and learn. And so it was really nice to be able to take what I had done wrong downstairs and was able to make it right upstairs. Have you noticed that everyone in the OR makes mistakes? Yes. I also noticed that, like, there's a lot of people that do things like there's some nurses that will wait until the surgeon comes in to do their prep and any type of draping or positioning, and then there's some that are like, well, I'm gonna do it, and if there's anything they want fixed, we can get it fixed. And so I had noticed that there's a lot of nurses that when they're doing that, they make a lot of mistakes. The surgeon will come in and they have to change every single thing, and they're like, well, sorry, I didn't know you wanted it that way. You know, the previous time we were together, you did it this way. And so I noticed that a lot of them make mistakes, and I saw some techs make some mistakes, easy ones, just, you know, dropping this, or even when I drop something off on the floor, and it's just like, oh, well, can we get another one of these? And so everyone does stuff like that, and there's absolutely no one that's ever going to have a 100% perfect day where they're not going to drop anything, they're not going to do something wrong by the surgeon. And so it's kind of nice to see them, because a lot of them I see just shrug their shoulders and they're like, well, I guess you live and learn, and it won't happen next time. How does the team around you handle their mistakes? Well, just like I said, a lot of them are really easygoing about it. They basically just say okay and learn how to do it the way they wanted it that time, and take it with a grain of salt, which is nice, because, and I've had a lot of, like, nurses and techs say, and even a couple surgeons tell me, don't, like, stress the little stuff. Like, there's gonna be little things that you're gonna do, like, you know, you're gonna contaminate, it's gonna happen, you're gonna drop this, it's gonna happen, you're gonna do something where the surgeon's gonna absolutely go nuts on you and it's ridiculous that he does, but I mean, it's nice that they let you know that things are gonna happen, and everyone does it, they're okay with it, it's not like it's the end of the world. So it's nice to kind of have that reassurance, because as a student, you feel like all eyes are on you, and so having them tell us that is a pretty good thing. Have mistakes become easier since the beginning, or do you still find them embarrassing? Not really. Like, I remember the first time I dropped something and I was just like wide-eyed staring at my nurse, and I just felt like I was like being a nuisance because I had to ask them to stop what they were doing to go get me a pair of gloves that I dropped. And so now if I drop something, I'm just like, oh, well, sorry, I'm really sorry. And then it's just like, I don't think it's really that big of a deal, and I don't really find myself being embarrassed too much. I guess we'll see though. If not, how did you get over that hurdle? Well, just knowing that everyone does it. I mean, every day you see someone do something that shouldn't have happened or made a mistake, and it's kind of not really a big thing anymore. Like, at first I was obviously afraid and I was walking on eggshells, so I always was nervous to make a mistake, but now it really doesn't bother me because you learn from mistakes. So how are you planning to get over the hurdle? Okay. Well, yeah, I just said you just learn from them and try to understand that it's gonna be okay and that you're gonna make them. But, well, it's been May, June, July, 3 months we've been in. Yeah, 3 months that we've been in clinical. I am so surprised at how well I've done. I mean, there's a lot of things I don't know, and that I'm still learning every single day, which is cool because I do learn new things every single day. I mean, sometimes they aren't even about surgery. It's just the conversation that we're having in the OR. But from the very beginning to now, I definitely have retained so much information, especially with little techniques that techs do that help them. And there's a lot of things that I see me doing differently than when I was setting up in lab because of what I've learned from other preceptors, and I think that's really cool, and I'm glad that I've got to work with some really awesome preceptors repeatedly because there's been awesome advice given to me. And like Friday I was in a neuro case, and it was a really big case, and my preceptor said, I'm gonna set this up and I'll probably do most of it just because it's a really big case. And I was like, totally fine. Like, I had only been in neuro one time before that, so I wasn't really familiar about much of the neuro instruments. And we started, and I told her, I said, hey, I'm gonna help you as much as I can. Like, let me do whatever you're comfortable with me doing, and you let me know when you want me to back off and you scrub. And once she saw that I was setting things up and, you know, making the initiative to try and do this case, she's like, you know what, why don't you just do it? And so she let me take the reins and help me with instruments that I didn't know, which there were a lot that I didn't know. Like all of the implants that they do for spines. I think we had 11 caskets we had 3 tables going and 11 caskets. There were like 6 implants, like 4 trials. I knew not one of these things, and so there were a lot of times I had to turn to her and tell her that I needed her to find the instrument for me. But there were a lot of times where I didn't. So probably most of that case I scrubbed, other than the part when he was putting the implants in. But if I would have had that case in the first month, there's absolutely no way I would have known what I know now. So I'm excited for what's going to happen so we got, I think, 3 more weeks. So hopefully I get to do more neuro, because I think neuro is extremely interesting. So I guess we'll see what's going on next vlog. Catch you later, guys.